Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pereira Sports Network. This is the NFL podcast here on Pereira Sports Network, a much different format. As you can see, Mark is next to me. We are literally in school right now, doing this now. We wanted to get this out, a little preview, to kind of let you guys know about our thoughts, give out until maybe later on in the week before the Super Bowl. We want to do a live stream, get people on, get debate. But this is just going to be kind of a breakdown type episode, going to be shorter. But yeah, I mean, we're here. Mark, tell me how you're doing.
What's up, guys? Can't wait to have you guys on for the pod when we hit the live stream. But let's get this going.
So yeah, we have it's been kind of a while. Last time we went on was previewing the conference championship games, and they obviously happened. We're just gonna start in the AFC. Quickly touch on this: the Kansas City Chiefs, Arrowhead, not Burrowhead. They win against the Cincinnati Bengals by a score of 23-20. It was a classic game. We kind of all expect a lot. I feel like the general public expected a shootout. It was not that. It was gritty. It was two great quarterbacks making plays. Burrow was a little like his stats don't show the whole picture. His stats were pretty bad in that game, but he played darn good for most of that. It was a fun watch, but the Bengals are home. The Chiefs are in Arizona right now as we speak. I don't. This just did a lot. I feel like my main takeaway was how great Mahomes is. Like he, the ankle, he hit his top sprint speed in the play here at 18.4 miles per hour. I think it was exactly on that last run where he gets shoved out of bounds, which we'll talk about that play. But I think it just kind of it felt like it's like he's so young, but he's already in that category where when we watch LeBron play, like we know he's gonna make a play, like especially in those runs where he won the East every year. You just knew that he was gonna do something. Like you didn't want him with the ball. Same thing with Jordan. Obviously, we didn't watch Jordan, but same thing with him and Brady. If you give Brady the ball with well, however many, like he's already in that category, and it's just mind-boggling because he's so young. But that was just my main takeaway. I don't know what your thoughts. Well, I do know, but like, just tell me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch on what you said. Like, especially just the plays he made throughout the game. He threaded the needle multiple times, like crazy throws, and that play at the end, like being hurt, putting the team on your back, putting your body on the line. Like that's like you have. He has like that dog in him. Like he's talented, but he also has like a different type of mindset. But I think Mahomes really did show like how special he was. He threw for over 300 yards. Like, actually, like called that one in the last pod. I told you everyone he was gonna throw for over 300.
Yeah,
Everyone
word.
called me crazy, but yeah, he's definitely by far the best quarterback in the NFL. And
But yeah, I mean, he definitely showed it. He hadn't thrown for over 300 against Cincy like ever, and I don't think in his career. So him being able to do that, kind of conquer, that was his only like the only team where he had kind of struggled with, and he figured it out on one leg. And someone said this, Nick Wright said this. It was top two quarterbacks, and I agree. Number one is Mahomes on two legs. Number two is Mahomes on one leg, because that was just crazy. And all respect to Joe Burrow, but I think Mahomes has put himself in a class where
by
he's
himself,
not in his he's not we're not debating him with his contemporaries anymore, right? Like that these Josh Allen takes were have aged like milk horribly, and these and Joe Burrow. I mean, obviously there's still time, but I just don't see those two guys being up there with Mahomes, right? And we've seen Sean Payton also say, I know it's kind of random, but Sean Payton was like, "This is the best quarterback I've ever evaluated." Right in college, that he gave him something that like this crazy amount of like film and plays, something that takes any other quarterback a week to go over and tell you like the ins and outs of like and just break down the entire thing. Basically, Mahomes did it in 2 hours. Like this isn't just because he's in Kansas City, and I feel like not everyone says that, but a lot of people kind of say, oh, like if Allen was in KC, he'd be doing the same thing. No, I don't think so. This guy is in a class, literally, as Mark said, by himself, and I think he right now he's not chasing, like he's not. contending with Burrow and Allen. He's chasing like the Bradys, the Montanas, the Mannings. Like he's now we're just like racking up his legacy, like go talk for the rest of his career. Kind of like how Brady was doing until like he was not chasing anyone. He was kind of chasing himself. But I think it's beautiful to see, and we're extremely blessed and lucky that we get to see Brady and then Mahomes right after. Like I think that's
Facts.
ridiculous. And I just can't wait for Sunday. I can't wait for Sunday, literally.
But yeah, I think a lot of people have that thing in their head. Oh yeah, Mahomes is who Mahomes is because of Andy Reid, and people said the same thing. Mahomes is not going to be Mahomes. Tyreek left, and he's showing you first. Like he just made the Super Bowl, and his best weapon left. Like his
His top
all.
three, no, not his best weapon is Kelsey, but like after that, his top
No,
three receivers.
I was talking about last year with Tyreek.
Oh,
His
last year.
best
Oh yeah,
left.
yeah. Word,
His
word.
best
I'm
weapon
sorry.
left in that game. His three receivers got hurt. Like the offense was literally Kelsey and all the backup receivers, and he just put the team on his back and showed how special he was. But that's my take.
Yeah, and before we get into the play, so we can move off this game. This was supposed to be kind of like a rebuilding year for the Chiefs. Like the AFC West, oh my gosh, the Broncos have Russell Wilson now. Obviously, Hackett was way over his skis. And Russell Wilson takes has some a lot of the blame for that. I think they're gonna be fine. I think they're gonna be good. We'll see. But anyways, that's for another day. We were like, oh my gosh, the Broncos have Russell Wilson. The Chargers got Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson. That defense is no joke. Um, the the Raiders got Devontae Adams, and we're like, and Chandler
Chandler
Jones,
Jones.
and we're like, oh my gosh, this division is crazy. What did the Chiefs do? They lost Tyreek Hill, starting a bunch of rookies, and they get the one seed. They run through that division, and they're in the Super Bowl. So in a rebuilding year for Kansas City, the fact that they still
Dominated.
dominated the AFC and made the Super Bowl is like a kind of a travesty for every other AFC fan. And I kind of feel bad, especially for Bills fans, like Cincy fans. But yeah, quickly, Burrow had a really bad pick. The other one wasn't as horrible, but kind of the one that he kind of heaved up to Higgins was that was not good. Other than that, I mean, he spread the ball like well. They just had no running game, and I said for the Bengals to win, they're gonna have to run the ball. They couldn't run the ball. The fact that they were in it for so long without being able to run the ball, and Burrow not in his A++ game kind of shows how gritty this team is and how like much of an overcomer Burrow is. I really like Joe Burrow. Obviously, I know we've said a lot about Mahomes, but he really stuck in there and he almost won a game that they had no business being in my
I
opinion.
mean, I think that the only reason that was a game, it was really close to being not close. That Mahomes fumble, that it was weird. He slipped out of his hands. That real weird play. I think that's what kept them in the game because on that drive, they're already inside the 50. They will probably most likely go at least get a field goal, and that takes a two possession game. I mean, that changed the whole game. That's a big what if. It didn't really matter at the end of the day, but I think that the Bengals almost capitalized off a big Chiefs mistake and kept it close.
Yeah, word. But anyways, on that last play, I think that was a horrible sighting when who was it? One of the
Oh,
Bengals
yeah, it was.
defensive players were like saying like, "Oh, you don't touch the quarterback, whatever." I really think the play would have been fine. It wouldn't have been a flag if he doesn't like does
Extend, yeah.
extend his arms. But imagine like being in that position, all that
You're trying to make a
adrenaline.
play.
You're just trying to make a play. You're trying to stop him from gaining yardage, and you're trying to hit him because I guarantee his defensive coordinator was like, or his teammates, whatever, were like, "Yo, hit this guy. Like he's kind of hurt. At the end of the game, you got a big hit. You like this is just football. If you knock him out of the game, or he's like kind of like dizzy, wobbled or whatever." That can affect a game and the flow of an offense, and that was ended up being a 15-yard penalty, which set up the field goal. But I wouldn't have been. That's just an indifferent play. Like it sucks. It sucks that that game had to end like that. Now maybe Bucker hits the 55-yarder anyways. But it sucks that that game had to like be sealed that way. But it wasn't like I feel it's just a football play that happens all the time that you have to call. but it's not really anyone's fault in my
Yeah,
opinion.
the people saying that that was a terrible call, that was definitely unnecessary roughness. You could see the full extension, a good 5 yards out of bounds. Like that was definitely. I mean, there's some questionable calls throughout the game, which some of them I agree with, some of them I might not. But that call was definitely unnecessary roughness. There's no doubt.
Yeah, yeah, and the officiating was off a little bit towards the Chiefs, but I don't think it would have made a difference. As Mark said, Bengals caught a couple breaks too that didn't have to do with officiating, anyways. Chiefs are the better team. I think we saw that. Anyways, let's just go to the NFC Championship. It's going to be quick because this game ended quick. 31-7 final score. Eagles head to the Super Bowl. I picked the Niners here, so my Super Bowl pick was half right. But Mark got his Super Bowl pick to a T heading into the conference championship game. But my preseason pick was Chiefs Niners, so maybe that's more impressive. Anyways, um, Purdy gets hurt. He couldn't throw the ball once he came in. He literally tore his UCL. Was having UCL surgery. Josh Johnson comes in, gets concussion, and it was just a mess. I
Christian
mean,
McCaffrey show after that.
yeah, it was just a mess. There wasn't really a chance. The game kind of ended there. Defense kind of quit. My biggest takeaway was not. Like at first, maybe watching it was, oh my gosh, the Eagles are dominant. Like just looking at the scoreboard, because let's be real, like we were all there, all the guys, and we weren't watching much. Like it
Yeah,
was
it
kind of
was.
a blowout. We weren't paying much attention. But I'm just looking at the scoreboard, like watching kind of every other play, and I'm like, okay, like the Eagles are just dominant. But I look back and I remember like the first half. That wasn't. It was like 14-7 at the end of towards the end of the second quarter, and Purdy was already out. Josh Johnson was in, and when you look at the stats, I mean, Hurts didn't do much. He literally, there's a crazy stat. He has 270 yards passing in the two playoff games. He had 120, I think, last week, right? I have the number right here. He had 121 in that game against the Niners,
I mean,
which I know he didn't have to pass. I know he blew them out, but that game should have been over way quicker. And I think you can't deny that. It was much too close in the first half. And then at the end, if the Niners aren't passing in today's football, and if you're not in a monsoon, you're gonna end blow them out if you're the freaking
yeah.
like I was
So
almost at the Jets, but the Jets are good now. If you're like the Texans, um, but so like that, I don't love, and if well, I'll get into that part later. I'll let Mark go.
but I think the Hurts thing is a little disturbing because you can't really take away because he didn't need to pass. But a lot of people are going to say is you don't know if he could throw for the 275 he needs to win that game because we haven't seen it in the playoffs. But at the same time, you can't take it away from him because he hasn't need to. It's just something we're gonna have to see because it's not gonna happen against the Chiefs. He's gonna have to make plays. They're not gonna. I think they're gonna need to run the ball. They're going to run the ball, but he's not gonna throw for 150 yards and win the game. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, let's just go straight into the Super Bowl preview. Before that, though, I think the Niners quarterback controversy next year is going to be insane. I don't think Garoppolo's going to
Nah, he's
resign.
gone. He's gone.
But between Purdy and Lance, I'm really interested to see. I'm a Trey Lance guy, but he just doesn't have enough snaps under his belt. He didn't get to play enough in college,
There's no way you
and in the
bench him
NFL.
though. I don't know. I think
I
there's
mean, yeah,
no
there's
way.
Purdy though. I mean, he did great. Anyways, that's a debate for another day. Let's get into the Super Bowl preview. We're both picking Chiefs. I'm gonna just say it right away. The reason, and I'm leaning surprisingly, I'm leaning more towards the Chiefs than even Mark is. I feel way strongly about this. Like this is probably one of the strongest I've felt, like strongest feelings I felt towards a team in like any Super Bowl. I'm picking the Chiefs mainly because first of all, as we said, Mahomes. This is gonna be like his moment right here to show like his greatest moment. Like if he's one of those dudes, which we all think he is, like he's gonna do it now. He had already like he melted down last year in the playoffs against Cincy. He had the worst half of his career. That's not gonna happen this year. I think he's gonna be great. The one thing that Patrick Mahomes has not done in his career is play a great Super Bowl from start to end. Right against the Niners, his first half was really shaky, and then he just balled out in the
Yeah, he
second
turned
half.
into it.
And then against the Bucks, like the stats are atrocious. The stats are horrible. Now he didn't play that bad. He literally was running for his life. He was making some ridiculous throws. The Bucks defensive players, we all know that went viral. They were shocked. But I think that combined with the fact that Jalen Hurts is the more hurt quarterback. People are talking about, oh, Mahomes, his ankle, how's he going to feel? Jalen Hurts is the more hurt quarterback. He has not played well. He has not had one good game since he hurt his shoulder, right? And he took a bad hit last week. He's admitting that he's hurt. He admitted the other day that he's playing hurt. So with all that being said, I'm not buying in at all. I know the Eagles have made one of the best pass rushes. I mean, I know Hassan Reddick can flip this game. And their offensive line is great, but the Chiefs' offensive line is no joke either. So I'm picking Kansas City in this game by I think they win by 14.
Well, okay. So, yeah, I'm picking KC, but I don't know if I think the Eagles' defense is like ridiculous. They could really change this game. But the fact is, Mahomes, bro.
Good, Jack.
What's up, bro?
You chilling?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're recording something right now.
Oh, y'all live right now?
Nah, recording.
Oh, what y'all doing?
Like an NFL pod.
Nice.
Yeah.
Y'all in this thing too?
Nah, I'm in, but next a couple periods later.
Nice.
All right, bro. I'll catch you
All
later. All right. A little interruption.
But like I was saying I don't think the injuries. I think they had a week of rest. They had a week and a half of rest, I would say. So I think the injuries are not going to play a huge factor unless, let's say, Hurts takes a big hit, Mahomes lands weird. I don't think the injuries are really going to play a huge factor. You could see Mahomes limping throughout the whole game against the Bengals. I don't think we'll see the same Mahomes. He just had a week and a half of probably the best training therapy you could get in the world.
And yeah, Reed said he's feeling good. So
yeah, so I don't think that's going to play a huge factor. The problem is, I don't know if Hurts could outplay Mahomes, and it's not the fact. I think Mahomes, for this to happen, Hurts is going to have to come out, run the ball, and then build off of that. I don't think Hurts is not going to come out and dominate like that. It's going to have to be Miles Sanders starts, the read option game, then play action, and let the defense get involved, which is a lot to ask for. So especially going against arguably one of the best quarterbacks ever. So
yeah, I think the only way I can see the Eagles winning is I can't see Hurts throwing for 300.
Yeah,
I just can't because one, first of all, he's hurt. His shoulder's hurt, and is he even that type of quarterback when healthy? Against the bad teams, he showed it. But I mean, the Eagles did have a really easy schedule, and I'm not that guy. I'm never that guy to come at their schedule was just easy. That's the only reason they're winning. No, obviously they're a great team, but that combined with the fact that the Eagles defense hasn't when they played any decent quarterbacks, the only good quarterback that didn't do good against them was Trevor Lawrence, and it was a monsoon in Philly. I don't know if you remember that at the beginning of the year, where balls were slipping everywhere, like it was bad. He had 5 turnovers or something like that. But Jared Goff torched them, completely torched them. Dak Prescott put 40 up on them. You know what I mean? So these aren't superstar guys, and there's a couple other examples that I'm kind of blanking on. But so quickly, because we don't have much time, I just don't. The only way I see the Eagles winning is their defense dominating the pass rush, getting to Mahomes, and them being able to run the ball, as you said, the RPOs. That's really dangerous because those RPOs put they're gonna do as much as they can to contain Chris Jones and make him confused and make him hesitant. Because in those RPOs, sometimes they'll leave their best pass rusher unblocked, and if people sync with him, they're gonna throw it up. If they kind of stay back, they just pass it to Sanders, 5-yard gain. So that's gonna be a very interesting thing. With that being said, I'm talking a lot about the ins and outs and the cat and mouse game, and I'm taking Andy Reid over Nick Sirianni in the cat and mouse. So I just don't see Philly winning this game, and it's because it's a 1.5 point spread, and Philly's the favorite, and a lot of people are saying Philly because of the roster. But I'm picking Kansas City, and I just can't wait until they win by 14, and we're talking about it. I really think so. I'm really confident. I'm not even a Chiefs fan.
I'm probably Mahomes' my favorite player. You saw me last pod.
Yeah, he's more of a Mahomes fan than I am.
But I think that defense is going to keep it close. I think it's the game might not feel close, but it's gonna be a close game. I don't think we'll see more than a 14 point, maybe 14 that they score and they keep it out of reach at the end. But I think we'll see a good close game, a fun Super Bowl. But I mean, just because the defense is good, I expect.
I hope it's fun.
Yeah,
I hope it's close.
And they'll get Miles Sanders involved. At least try.
But a lot has to happen for the Eagles to win. Like Reddick has to have like his Von Miller type Super Bowl.
Yeah, those DBs definitely have to get involved, make plays. I think for the Eagles, it's create turnovers. That's their mindset to win this game. Create turnovers. That's all you have to do. Get Mahomes off the field, run the ball, time of possession, create turnovers. You win. I promise you, they create turnovers, good 3 turnovers. They time of possession, they dominate, they're gonna win.
All right, final score, go.
And
winner.
28-17 Chiefs.
Okay, so yeah, you agree with me. You said it's 11.
Nah, 28-24. I'm gonna say that.
Okay, that's a 7-point jump, dude.
28-24. I'm telling you, it's gonna
You're
be a close
done.
game.
28-24 Chiefs.
24 Chiefs.
I'm gonna go 32-20 Chiefs. And I think if 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, he's gonna have like all the Chiefs fans are gonna have like cigars in their mouth or whatever. Anyways, that's it for today. That was kind of smoothly done, except for the little interruption we had. But anyways, that's all good. That's the bell. As we said, we're in school. Thank you guys for watching. If you're up to the end, that's huge. Have a wonderful day. Have a blessed day. And we'll see y'all soon. There's more stuff coming out this weekend, so stay tuned. Oh, shoot.